This year, WNBA players have gotten exactly what they wanted. Caitlin Clark has essentially missed the entire season, and the WNBA has suffered the consequences.
The WNBA got exactly what it wanted, and it has now become a complete institutional meltdown. The league's golden goose might be gone for the entire season.
Now, ESPN had August 12th as the circled return date for Caitlin Clark to get back onto the court, and just yesterday she was listed as a game time decision for today's game against the Dallas Wings. And then after practice yesterday, Coach Stephanie White basically came out and said, like, no, Caitlin Clark hasn't even been practicing, so they changed it from a game time decision to her being out.
In the next few minutes, you'll discover the coded language in the coach's statements, why a new player signing signals deep panic, and the one question nobody wants to ask.
No return to practice. She's been able to get a little bit more in her full court running, with her all of her body weight. It's really building up from doing minimal to then building some endurance to do longer periods of time. She's been able to do a little bit more on the court in terms of how she moves, but not into practice yet.
Now, not into practice yet. That is obviously a negative as far as how soon Caitlin Clark will be back, because she will be in practice before she returns to the court. I would guess at least a few practices before she returns to the floor.
By the end, you'll understand why this isn't just about an injury. It's an existential threat that could unravel the entire league, and the proof has been hiding in plain sight.
This is what the Indiana Fever organization been doing way too much. They dangle Caitlin Clark like a carrot, and we're all rabbits trying to get it. And then last minute, they'll let you know, oh, hey, Caitlin Clark's not available. Midday or something like that while everybody's traveling to get to the arena. Then you get to the arena, she ain't there.
The official story is a series of frustrating injuries. Caitlin Clark has missed 19 out of 32 games this season, with quad strains and groin problems. But that's not the whole story.
I'm wondering, why did the Indiana Fever and Stephanie White decide not to come out and say, hey, she's not practicing? She's not going to be playing in this game. And this is why I've got a problem. Because there's gambling implications here. All right? There's gambling implications, and there's the implications of we've got a nationally televised game on ESPN. We want to sell as many tickets as possible. And by the way, charge the most money we can get gate revenue, yada, yada, yada.
Head coach Stephanie White's updates are causing the most panic. She keeps repeating no timetable and day by day, which in pro sports is often code for a worst-case scenario.
Can't wait until Caitlin Clark is back. She's the most dynamic, electric player in the WNBA. Great job, Lexi. Scott said, have patience, at least several more weeks. Now, whoa.
The writing has been on the wall for weeks. ESPN circled August 12th for her return, and then she was listed as a game-time decision. But what happened next shocked everyone. The team suddenly announced she hadn't even been practicing. This last-minute reversal sent fans and betting markets into a frenzy, raising serious questions about the team's.
Maybe it's just me, But there seems to be a massive decline in mainstream interest in the WNBA this season. Last year, there were so many stories in the WNBA, it was hard to keep up. Over the past couple of weeks, outside of Airborne Wiener, there's really been nothing to talk about. Think about it. What is the biggest storyline right now?
This is what viewers are calling the Indiana Fever's bizarre strategy. Dangling Caitlin Clark like a carrot. Fans travel to the arena, buying expensive tickets, only to find out she's not playing. This has led to accusations that the team is prioritizing gate revenue over honest communication with the very people who built the Caitlin Clark effect.
Being active and playing 4 games and then not, and like not feeling the best, and then like frustrated of like how hard I worked in the off season, and then like all I do is rehab and like continue to do this process. And just like trying to trust that the best I can. And obviously there's really frustrating days, and there's days where like it's a little bit easier and like you're very, very motivated and like you're close to the finish line of getting back and being back. And then like, it's not like I have a training camp to like build up to like playing my first game again. It's like, no, like you're tossed into game 30, like go try to play well. Like it's hard. Like
the coach's comments reveal just how far away a return truly is. White said Clark is doing full court running with all of her body weight but is not into practice yet. To analysts, this isn't good news. It sounds like the absolute earliest stages of rehab, nowhere near actual basketball activities. She has to complete multiple full practices before even thinking about a game, and they're not even at step 1.
The Indiana Fever go out and pick up Odyssey Sims, a former second-team All-WNBA player, somebody who just as recently as June 1st this season dropped 32 points on the Phoenix Mercury.
Meanwhile, the Indiana Fever just signed veteran Odyssey Sims to a hardship contract. This isn't a simple depth move. It's a crisis signing. When you're bringing in 33-year-old journeyman players on emergency deals because your other guards are also out for the season, you aren't planning for a quick return. From the outside, this looks like a...
What's going on in Indiana is that I feel like a lot of these people in the front office, a lot of these people up in Indy for the Fever do not care for Caitlin Clark for whatever reason. You know, Scott Atkins could be one of them. I'm not saying that he is, but it's looking like he don't care for Caitlin Clark. We know clear as day that Stephanie White has been looking in certain areas not to be feeling the Caitlin Clark effect. I don't know, but this stuff is definitely looking concerning because it's showing us that could there be more to her injury and they're not being transparent.
Here's what's absolutely terrifying for the WNBA. They bet everything on one player. Clark isn't just a star, she's the entire solar system. Games without her average a respectable 549,000 viewers. But with her, that number explodes to 1.26 million. She isn't just moving the needle, she is the needle.
I mean, it's not my first time just coming to a new team and coming in and just being me. So the biggest thing is just doing what I do best. Playing defense, playing hard, doing whatever the team needs. Obviously, I know they've been down with the injuries. Prayers up for Sid and Ari. Love them both. But like I said, I'm excited to be here, and I'm not going to do too much. But whatever coach tells me to do, so I'm going to do and have fun and enjoy my teammates.
Clark herself admitted on a podcast, "I've never been through anything like this." For an athlete who has built a career on being consistently available, the physical toll is matched only by the mental devastation. She revealed the immense pressure she feels to return, a responsibility to the millions of new fans she brought to the league. But trying to rush back is exactly what could be making things worse.
And that's why Caitlin Clark is so great, because Caitlin Clark is the magnet. She's the magnet, the needle. I'll say magnet in this case. She draws a big audience. And with that big audience, you learn about the other teams by watching the Fever. And since they play each other so many times, and there's only 12 other teams they play, why'd I have to watch the other teams for? Seriously, why? I don't find the other teams that interesting.
The consequences are already undeniable. When Clark was out earlier this season, ticket prices for some games plummeted by over 70%. A Chicago Sky matchup dropped from $86 to just $25. The All-Star game, held in her own adopted hometown, saw a staggering 36% drop in viewership.
You can try to simulate game speed as much as you want in practice. You will never be able to. Game speed is game speed. There's also a lot more adrenaline, all of these different things pumping when you're playing in front of a sold out crowd that the Indiana Fever do every single night. If I'm their coach, she needs to practice for at minimum a week. At the minimum, she needs to be doing everything in practice for at least a week before you throw her back in the mix.
What makes this situation so frustrating for fans is how preventable it all seemed. You have a generational talent who broke every record, and many believe the league has failed to protect her. 4 separate injuries in one season, hand, quad, and 2 groin issues, is not normal wear and tear. It suggests a pattern that has led viewers to question the team.
Like, Stephanie White was saying that she's not done anything with the team. Like, she's not even shooting around with the team. Like, as much as we're hearing certain things, I just don't know. I don't know. Like, let's just say several more weeks. Let's just say, for argument's sake, she's out for 3 more weeks. 3.
And here is where it gets truly bizarre. Many of the same players who were criticized for their petty jealousy towards Clark are now facing the direct consequences. Charles Barkley called it out early on, and now it's backfiring spectacularly. These same players are watching their arenas turn into ghost towns and their national TV spots disappear without her. This is why the fan panic is so justified. Clark has made it clear she won't return until she's 100%. For someone who has never dealt with chronic injuries, this is uncharted territory. She isn't just healing a muscle, she's battling the weight of an entire league's expectations while her body breaks down based on the team's actions. They seem to be preparing for an absence. The harsh reality nobody wants to admit is that the WNBA without Caitlin Clark is just another niche sports league. The numbers don't lie. Viewership, ticket sales, and merchandise all collapse without her. She wasn't just the face of the league. She was the entire marketing department, the magnet. But what's truly mind-blowing is how a system built around her could also be what's breaking her. Fans are now speculating if there's more to the story. Some online comments point fingers at the front office and coaching staff, suggesting a disconnect or lack of transparency. When the team is not upfront about her practice status, it fuels the ripple effects are already spreading. Attendance for non-Clark games remains flat. TV ratings for other matchups are barely moving. The hype around the WNBA's growth was almost entirely tied to her presence. The league moved games to 20,000-seat stadiums for her, and this leads to the million-dollar question that nobody in the league wants to answer publicly. What happens if she doesn't come back as the same player? What if these soft tissue injuries become a chronic issue that robs her of her explosive, dynamic style? The panic isn't just about this season. It's about whether the WNBA's golden goose will ever be able to fly the same